Good morning, everybody. We have a mixed to lower trade in the grain markets here early on Monday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. We have December corn futures down 2 1/4 at 417. November soybeans are unchanged at 1083 and 3/4. December Chicago wheat down 10 1/4 at 622.5. December Kansas City wheat down 14 1/4 at 555.5. December spring wheat down 4 at 573.5. Weather forecasts turned quite a bit wetter for the U.S. Southern Plains over the weekend. Rains and snow are expected to impact a lot of HRW wheat country in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas between now and the end of the week. This is a fairly significant shift in the forecast versus last week. I think that it is largely responsible for the weakness in the wheat market and the Kansas City wheat market in particular this morning, which again is down 14 cents in the spot month contracts at 6:30 Central Time. So that's welcome, from a weather standpoint. I mean, these are areas that had been incredibly dry and had been, in some sort of drought stage for a long time now, and they may catch a little bit of relief, which of course could be good for the crops, but not necessarily good for the markets. China has bought $23 billion in U.S. ag goods this year, according to the U.S. Trade Reps Office. The Trade Reps Office, along with USDA, put out a joint statement last week, and they said that China has bought over $23 billion in U.S. ag goods, or about 71% of the target set under the Phase 1 trade deal. This is a quote from Bob Lighthizer. Since the agreement entered into force 8 months ago, we have seen remarkable improvements in our agricultural relationship with China, which will benefit our farmers and ranchers for years to come. Now, when you look at these numbers, they're saying 71%, and that's 23 billion. That would mean that their target's only like 32.5 billion. To my knowledge, the full year target when you included everything was 36.5. I'm probably splitting hairs here. I think what really matters, the big take home with this statement in particular, is that the U.S. is happy with the progress. Not necessarily that we are super specific on the numbers, but if the U.S. is happy with the progress, if USDA and then Lighthizer and the Trade Reps Office is happy with the progress, then I guess that's a positive. Of course, you've got to remember we've still got a lot of sales that have not yet turned into shipments, but I suppose this is a good thing, certainly. Chatter regarding more Chinese corn purchases continues. It was reported Friday, and there had been chatter about this for a while, that China is going to raise its import quota, which is currently 7 million metric tons a year ballpark. The chatter now is that China may need to import anywhere from 20 to 30 million metric tons of corn versus that 7 million metric ton quota. So the idea here is that the Chinese government's probably going to raise this quota. A lot of this corn is going to come from the U.S. They've already got 10.5 million metric tons on the books. They've got another 5 million from other destinations. So I think that's a lot of what's been driving action in the corn market. I think the market is very clearly discounting bigger Chinese purchases. I think you're seeing that reflected in not only flat price, but in the spreads as well. There's basically no carry in the corn market. The market is not paying you to store corn from December to March or May or to July, or not paying you very much at least. The spread from December to July 21 is 1.5 cents this morning. So really some pretty phenomenal stuff here when you think about what is possible. Is that what actually happens? I don't know that. Fund traders remain heavily along the grain complex. In the week ending October 20th, funds were net buyers of 55,000 contracts of corn, 8,000 contracts of soybeans, and 12,000 contracts of SRW wheat. The estimated combined fund length across those three contracts at Friday's close, about 540,000 contracts, is the third largest on record. Funds only held a larger combined position across those three markets once in 2011 for a period of time, and once in 2012 for a period of time. So we're in some very rare territory here when it comes to fund length. When you break it down by contract, at Friday's close, it was estimated that funds were net long 242,000 contracts of corn, which is pretty aggressive, not anywhere near a record, but very aggressive relative to the last 5 years. Private groups estimated funds to be net long 246,000 contracts of soybeans. That would be a record if confirmed, and 52,000 contracts of SRW wheat, which is very aggressive historically. We've got some reports this week, of course. Export inspections this morning, crop progress after the close today, 3 o'clock. Ethanol production Wednesday, export sales on Thursday. We had a cattle on feed report out on Friday. Cattle on feed came in at 104%. The trade expected 103.3. No big surprise there. As always, the placements number surprising. 106. The trade expected 102.5. So maybe a slightly bearish tone from the placements number. Marketing's 106, pretty much on par with expectations. So I'd call the cattle on feed report maybe slightly negative, but the market had acted awfully poorly ahead of it. It's always difficult to see what's priced in and what's not. We will find out on the open today. Cash cattle was anywhere from 102 to 106, kind of a wide trade last week. Ahead of the cash open, we've got some weakness in the stock market. The S&P's down 270 points. I'm sorry, the Dow's down 270, the S&P's down 30. Bonds up, U.S. dollars up, crude oil down 82 at 39.03. We've got the gold mixed, silver's down a little bit. Remember, if you'd like some more information, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you'd like to know when, how, and specifically I am pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year, check out that subscription service. It's $49 a month. You can cancel it at any time. There's no other obligation, no other fee. You don't need a brokerage account. You'll just get my email. You'll get my text message service. You'll know exactly what I'm doing every day of the week. Everyone have a great day today, and I will talk to you same time tomorrow.